friends, I am Dr. Abhishek Muge, working at Symbiosis Center of Healthcare as Senior Medical Officer. I welcome you for this session. Today I am going to talk about hygiene and sanitation practices during COVID-19 pandemic. Maintain good hygiene, do proper sanitation, get the area disinfected. This surface is not sterile. I'm sure you all must have heard these phrases a number of times since this pandemic struck and took all of us into its grasp. And you must be following a little of this and that of these practices yourself too. In this session, we are going to delve a little into all of this in the next half an hour or so. As far as the COVID-19 mitigation ground rules are concerned, with regards to the hygiene and sanitation, we can focus on three areas, and these are individual sanitation, space sanitization, and object sanitization. By individual sanitization, I mean to keep your body clean and especially your hands. Space sanitization refers to cleaning the surfaces and air in the space, etc. By sanitization of objects, I mean to refer to all the processes involved in making the food, clothing, and shopped items or courier or parcels germ-free. We all know that cleanliness is the first step towards living a life that is healthy and full of prosperity. These hygiene and sanitation practices not only to reduce the germs on the surfaces and from the environment, but also control the chances of allergies and pollutants. At another level, it gives one a feeling of accomplishment and peace, which are the basics of staying positive. Besides following regular standard routine of cleaning, there are particular instances, situations or occasions where it is imperative to take extra efforts to clean and maintain adequate sanitation. On a daily basis, all highly touched surfaces like tabletop, doorknobs, light switches, countertops, handles, phones, restroom faucets, taps, etc. should be sanitized at least once. In addition to this, if there is a sick person at home, extra care and alertness is required. In these cases, the commonly used surfaces and spaces must be thoroughly sanitized as many times as it is required depending on case-to-case basis. Now, for the purpose of doing this, you can use soap and water to clean a surface and then go on to do disinfection by using a standard disinfective agent approved by the competent local authorities. A commonly recommended disinfectant to be used is sodium hypochlorite. You have heard this name, I suppose. You can get it from a pharmacy store near you. Keep in mind it comes in different strengths or concentrations, and that is usually mentioned at the label on the bottle in percentage. For household purpose, 1% strength is adequate. There are standard instructions that you need to follow while using these products. You need to wear gloves all the way from start to finish. You must ensure that the space is adequately ventilated when you are cleaning it, and always keep in mind not to spray in indoor spaces. Instead, you can wipe. Right? It is recommended that you prepare the mix every time you want to clean, like every day, and not once in a while and keep the leftover for the next day. A very smart strategy here is to start your cleaning routine with a relatively clean surface and keep going towards dirtier areas, because this will avoid the risk of transferring the infection to the cleaner areas. In the end, do not forget to wash your hands after taking the gloves off and disposing them in a covered dustbin. All right. You should always store the disinfectant. It's an important part of the session. You should always store the disinfectant in a dry area away from direct sunlight and heat. There are few more things that you need to remember while handling the disinfectant. You should use water for dilution, that is on room temperature. You should not mix it in hot water. You should not use very hot or very cold water either for this purpose. So, room temperature water is ideal. Always store it at a place where children and pets cannot access it. Never mix two different disinfecting chemicals with one another. It may prove hazardous. You should ensure that the mix does not come in contact with your skin or eyes, and also that you don't accidentally inhale the fumes. Now, just in case such an occurrence happens, you should clean the body part immediately with the clean water and contact your doctor immediately. Take extra precautions while using such substances near a person who has some respiratory problems like asthma, because it may aggravate his condition. Now we get worried about the cleanliness when someone at home falls sick, in general too, right? But in case of COVID-19 though, there are clear-cut directives that you should follow when someone at home is infected.
How to clean and disinfect your home if someone has COVID-19. For common areas of the home. Each day, clean and disinfect high-touch surfaces and items. High-touch surfaces include tables, countertops, light switches, doorknobs, and cabinet handles. Put on disposable gloves. First, clean the surface with soap and water. Then, use a household disinfectant. Read the label to see how long you should keep the disinfectant on the surface. Have good airflow and ventilation. Follow instructions about rinsing off chemicals. Be sure to put products where children cannot reach them. To clean electronics, follow the manufacturer's instructions. Or use alcohol-based wipes or spray containing at least 70% alcohol. Wash dishes and utensils with soap and hot water or run them in a dishwasher. For sick areas or rooms of the home. A person who is sick should stay in a separate area or room and use a separate bathroom if possible. Only clean these areas if something gets soiled. This will help limit your contact. Have the person who is sick wear a mask. A caregiver may also wear a mask. Dedicate a lined trash can if available. Remove the gloves and wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. For more on cleaning and disinfecting your home for COVID-19, visit cdc.gov/coronavirus.
Now, first of all, the sick person should be confined to a separate dedicated space, keeping the movement of healthy members to such area to a minimum. All right. And it would be best to keep a separate bathroom as well dedicated to this sick person, and should be cleaned by the sick person himself or herself, but only if the health permits. Now, in case the health status of the sick person does not allow him to clean on his own, a person who is healthy should be designated for such a task every day. The cleaning person must wear mask at all times working in the space occupied by the sick person, and the sick person too is supposed to wear a mask when a healthy person is around. All the areas and surfaces should be cleaned thoroughly while keeping the area well ventilated. This is a very important point. Always remember to use and store the disinfectant as per the instructions mentioned on the label. Wear gloves while handling and cleaning utensils and wash hands properly after doing so. A trash can should be separate to be used only by the sick person, and personal protective equipment should be worn while handling trash generated by the sick person. Do not forget to do proper hand hygiene after the disposal of the garbage. It may be taxing for the other family members to cater for the needs of the family member who got infected from COVID-19. So, it is more important here that we know that when should we be relaxed, as far as the recovery of the person is concerned. Also, what to do after the person recovers. So, it is recommended that after the full recovery of the sick person, that is in general minimum 14 days, after this period, the room should not be used by other non-infected family members for at least 72 hours, that is around 3 days. For these 3 days, no one should be allowed to go in that space. During this period, though, the whole space should be cleaned and disinfected as usual. Now, please have a good look at this picture and remember the steps for effective cleaning. Step 1 is to know about the product thoroughly. Step 2, read the instructions about how to use that product. Step 3, pre-clean the surface. Step 4, wait till the contact time of that disinfectant is over. Step 5, wear gloves and wash your hands. This is before and after the use. And step 6 is to store the disinfectant in lock and key. Now, we will see how to clean different surfaces. For example, if we want to clean like carpets, drapes, doormats, etc., we should use warm water and soap. After washing, dry them in sunlight, good sunlight, and if you want to vacuum them, do it with the mask on. Wear your mask and then vacuum it. In case if you are washing the clothes by washing machine, go for the warmest setting available in your machine. Then dry them properly, better still in sunlight. Use a dedicated bucket to soak clothes of a sick person, like separate space, separate bathroom, separate bucket, or by using washing machine, wash them separately. Now, after keeping the clothes to dry, clean your hands properly, and it's even better to take a bath. Now, nowadays we are surrounded by various electronic items and gadgets, and it has become essential to know how to ensure that the spread of infection does not take place while handling these gadgets. Preferably, a cover should be there at all times on these devices that I mentioned, so that we don't need to use the cleaning agent directly on the surface of the gadget. It may harm them. Now, these wipeable covers not only protect the device, but also play a vital role in facilitating this sanitization process. So, to be on the safer side, one should read the cleaning instructions explained in the label on the device. Now, you must be knowing this. Some devices are provided with the cleaning material along with the device itself, so you can use it. Friends, now we will watch this video which gives an insight into the practices for grocery shopping, storing and cleaning.
COVID-19 has changed a lot of things, but you and your family still have to eat. Going to the grocery store? Here are some tips. First, check the status of the store. Is it open for shoppers, for pickup, or for home delivery only? Also, stores might have special shopping hours for seniors and those with health challenges. If you go, make a shopping list in advance so you don't spend more time in the store than you need to. This will help protect both you and the grocery store staff. Buy just 1 to 2 weeks worth of groceries at a time. Wear a face covering or mask while you're in the store. Observe the 6 feet rule. Take your own wipes or use the ones supplied by the store to wipe down the handles of the shopping cart or basket. Using reusable shopping bags? Make sure reusable shopping bags are cleaned or washed regularly. Home from the store? Wash those hands right away and after you put away your groceries. There's no evidence of food or food packaging spreading COVID-19. However, if you wish, you can wipe down your groceries and let them air dry as an extra precaution. And always follow these tips for storing and preparing food at home. Clean, separate, cook, and chill. Rinse fresh fruits and vegetables under running tap water. Refrigerate and freeze things that can go bad within 2 hours of buying. And a good idea to check these temps. Wipe down kitchen counters and other high-touch surfaces often, including after you put your groceries away. Please stay safe.
I'm sure this clip has cleared the air to a great extent about the subject of how to handle the grocery in this time of COVID-19 pandemic. Now, before I close the session, let's talk a little bit about cleaning of food items, because we are actually worried and concerned about that. Cleaning of food items, especially the fresh ones, you must do hand hygiene before touching them. You must clean the raw food like fresh vegetables, fruits, pulses, etc. thoroughly under tap water. Now about the storage. If you are going to store the items, you must clean your hands after washing. Ensure that the items are dry and then keep it for the storage. Thankfully, there is no evidence till date as we are talking that can suggest that COVID-19 infection spreads via food items. So that's a good thing, right? As you must be knowing that this virus can only survive inside a living host cell, transmission of this virus via food items is minimal or not at all, we can say. These are my references. I thank you friends for watching this video, and I truly believe that it will help you in staying clear from this infection. Now, I would like you to pledge with me that together we will steer out of this pandemic by doing our individual roles sincerely, and in this case, following hygiene and sanitation practices by the book. Stay clean, stay safe. Thank you. Now, in this session, we are going to discuss something that may not be required in our day-to-day practice of health and hygiene sanitation practices as far as COVID-19 is concerned. But if you happen to organize a office meeting, or you are doing your internship where you happen to be at an office space, at that time what all things are there which you need to take care of as a part of the team member or as a part of the organizer, both. Now, as far as cleaning is concerned, what is cleaning? As we learned, removal of dirt and impurities including germs from surfaces. We know that cleaning alone does not kill germs, but by removing the germs, it decreases the number and therefore any risk of spreading infection. Now, what is disinfecting or disinfection? It works by using chemicals. For example, in the session we learned that it is 1% hypochlorite to kill germs on the surface. This process does not necessarily clean dirty surfaces or remove germs, but killing germs remaining on the surface after cleaning further reduces any risk of spreading infection. Now, as an organizer, what is your role? So, different roles are designed to do different tasks. So, if you are happen to be an organizer or a manager, then you should monitor and observe the overall cleanliness and whether these protocols are being followed or not. Now, if there is a person above you at a managerial role, then all the other people who form the part of the team, they should be able to make sure that the cleaning personnel cleans tabletops, desktops, medical instruments or light switches or other electronic equipments. Medical equipments, I say that the thermal scanner should also needs to be cleaned. If you happen to keep pulse oximeter, you should be cleaning that regularly. So, those kind of medical things. Then cleaning of floor, fan, windows, walls and chairs. This has to be cleaned every day. Then dusting of ceilings and doormats, cleaning toilets and dustbins. We are going to see a little detail of everything. Now, before you start the cleaning process, make sure clean clothes are available for the cleaning. Dilute the cleaning detergent as advised. 1 part of the 5% sodium hypochlorite should be mixed with 4 parts of water to prepare this solution. So, this ratio you need to remember. Now, you should think beforehand if the adequate stock is available of these things like mops, towels or disinfectant solution. Hand hygiene before and after performance of all the cleanliness processes, acts of cleanliness, the hand hygiene should be performed. Now, prior to cleaning, the worker should wear gloves and a reusable mask, and as I told, hand hygiene should be done before and after, and the reason for this is that the more we keep our hands clean, the lesser are the chances of transmitting the infections. Now, we will see what is the frequency of a particular zone or area in your office space or where you are doing the internship or lab work should be cleaned. Now, all the office spaces should be cleaned every evening after working hours and early in the morning before the rooms are occupied by the people with 1% hypochlorite. Now, all office equipment twice daily mopping with a cloth or absorbable linen which is soaked in 1% hypochlorite solution. All other equipment, electronic or medical, as I told, after every use of 1% hypochlorite. For example, if you happen to use a pulse oximeter to a particular person who is not feeling well at your office or at your place where you work, immediately after you use that on that person, before keeping it, you should sanitize it with 1% sodium hypochlorite solution. Now, we will see what is the frequency of cleaning floors, toilets, etc. Now, floors should be cleaned twice daily with soap and water solution. Toilets every hour with Harpic solution or strong disinfecting soap water solution. Toilet floors hourly with 1% hypochlorite. So, all the floors with 1% hypochlorite solution. Now, how actually we are going to do it? So, what are the guidelines for the cleaning per se? Start cleaning from the cleaner areas and proceed towards the dirtier areas. This I mentioned earlier also. All indoor areas such as entrance lobbies, corridors, aisles, staircases, pantry should be mopped with 1% hypochlorite. All high contact surfaces such as lift buttons, handrails, handles, light switches, equipments like telephone, printer, scanners and other machines should be cleaned twice daily by mopping and mopping with a linen or absorbable cloth soaked in either 1% hypochlorite or if there is any other solution that has come with the machine. Now, the frequently touched areas like tabletops, chair handles, pens, keyboards, mouse or mousepad, etc. should be specially cleaned because they are very highly touched surfaces and they are touched by different group of people. Then mop floor with detergent only. Use of disinfectant is not recommended here. Now, we will talk about the disposal. The disposable of the material or the garbage, what you say. So, all the material, all the used material should be put in a container separately, then segregate and place the waste in appropriate containers like general waste or infectious waste, dry waste, wet waste, these kind of things. Then hand hygiene, as I told a number of times, it is very important. Remove gloves and perform hand hygiene with the soap and water before you complete the disposable of garbage and touch any other surface. Carefully clean the equipment used in cleaning at the end of the cleaning process. Now, the cloths or the mops with which you have cleaned the area, you should clean that as well and put it to dry for reusing it. So, this was something which I thought I would be telling you so that when tomorrow if you go to a place, you should know that what you should expect, the level of cleanliness be there and about the hand hygiene before and after the acts, different acts of cleanliness. Once again, thank you so much for attending this session and joining for this course. Have a nice day. Thank you.